All right, it's 8 a.m. on the dot, so we'll get started. So happy Wednesday, everyone. Let's start off in child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart, extending your arms out in front of you. And this doesn't have to be an active child's pose. You can allow the forearms to fall down onto the mat. If child's pose is uncomfortable at all for you, you can always start off on your backs and then meet us in tabletop once we get there. And child's pose is one of my favorite poses to start off in because you're kind of in a turtle shell. You're enclosed within yourself. And it's a really grounding pose. And we'll take today's practice to get grounded within ourselves. And taking a few cleansing breaths to go in. Take a deep inhalation through your nose. And exhale it out of your mouth. Let it go. A few more times just like that. Inhaling through your nose. And exhaling out of the mouth. One more time. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. And now, as much as you can, we allow the inhales and exhales to come through the nose. And we build this connection to our breath. Tracing those inhales and exhales from the low belly all the way up into the heart. And on the exhales, they gently release back and down. Inhaling again from the lowest part of our belly, allowing that air to travel up into our hearts. See if you can sip in just a little more air, filling up right below your collarbones. And exhale it back and down. And keep this connection to your breath, allowing it to guide your practice. Start to make your child's pose a little more active, extending your arms straight out in front of you, planting the palms down. Your forearms are now lifted. And feel your arms start to activate. And as you do this, think about your arms. So your biceps, that's the part of the arms closest to your ears. You roll those up towards the ceiling. Your outer arm, your triceps, you roll down towards the mat and you feel the arms engage. Come high up onto your fingertips. Crawl your fingertips over towards the left side of your mat, finding a child's pose twist. And breathe here. Crawl the fingertips over to the right side of the mat. Child's pose twist. Crawl your fingers back to neutral, planting the palms down, finding child's pose, allowing the hips to move back and down. Our next inhale, we lift up the hips, meeting in tabletop. Shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. Taking a few rounds of cat and cow. On the inhale, we open up the chest, broadening the collarbones. On the exhale, we scoop the navel and roll the shoulders forward. Inhale, opening up the chest, broadening those collarbones. Exhale, scoop the navel, roll the shoulders forward. Moving back and forth between your cat and cow, allowing the breath to guide your movement. And as you take these rounds of cat and cow, start to scan the body for any areas that may feel different. And just acknowledge where your body is at this morning. Allow yourself to find a neutral spine, tabletop position. Start to turn your fingertips back towards your knees, moving into a wrist stretch. And take your hips in circles. So take the hips back and down, take the hips forward, and you'll feel this stretch more as the hips move back. And whichever direction you're moving, move in the opposite direction. And allow yourself to come back to neutral, turning your fingertips to face the front of the mat. Shake out your wrist a little bit. Bring the back of the hand to your head, elbow out to the side. Take an inhale. Exhale, elbow to elbow, crunch it in. Inhale it out to the side. Exhale, elbow to elbow. Inhale it out to the side. Exhale, elbow to elbow, pause. Sweep your right arm underneath the left. Release your shoulder and your ear down. Finding your thread, the needle, here in tabletop, and breathe. Soft and smooth breathing. Your next inhale, come back up. Take your right arm out to the side. Get a little more lateral stretch and release that hand down. Bringing the left hand to the back of the head, elbow out to the side. Take an inhale. On the exhale, elbow to elbow. Inhale it out to the side, waking up the sides of the waist. Exhale, elbow to elbow. Last one, inhale out to the side. Exhale, elbow to elbow, pause. Sweep your left arm underneath the right. Release your shoulder and your ear down. Find that thread, the needle here in tabletop, and breathe. Soft and smooth breathing. Grounding down through your hand. Take that left arm out to the side, a little more lateral stretch, and release your hand down. Take a couple rounds of cat and cow. Allow yourself to find your neutral spine, tabletop position. Draw your low belly in, firm in through your outer hips. On your inhale, extend your left leg straight back behind you, hovering it above the mat. Flexing through your foot, toes are pointed down towards the mat and firming into your right hip. Inhale, extend your right arm forward and just hold here, taking that right arm alongside your ear. Take an inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to extend. Exhale, crunch it in. Moving back and forth with your inhales and exhales. Soft and smooth breathing. Grounding down through that left hand, firming into your right hip. Your next inhale, take the arm and leg back out, pause here. And we're holding just a few inhales and exhales, finding our balance. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. One last deep breath in, deep breath out. Release the hand and knee down. Moving into the opposite side. Inhale, extends the right leg back behind us. Draw the low belly in, firm into that left hip, and extend the left arm forward. And at first, we're just holding, finding our balance. Take an inhale. Exhale, crunch it in, elbow to knee. Inhale it back. Exhale it in. Moving back and forth with your inhales and exhales. Soft and smooth breathing. Your next inhale, extend that arm and leg out, hold. Pause here. Draw the low belly in. As you hold this pose, continue to breathe from your fingertips back into the heels of your foot. Release the hand and knee down. Take a couple rounds of cat and cow. Allow yourself to come to your neutral spine. Walk your hands just a little out in front of you. Grounding down through your hands, find that rotation in your upper arms again. So rolling the inner arms forward, the outer arms back. Tuck your toes. Pick up your knees. Hover your knees above your mat. Draw the low belly in. And breathe. Here for just a few more inhales and exhales. And we'll slowly, like you're moving through molasses, move our chest closer to our knees, elongating the spine. Hips are going up and back. Then straighten your legs. Downward facing dog. First downward dog of the day. So bend each knee, pedaling out your feet. moving your hips from side to side. And just breathe. Find stillness in your down dog, sending that energy from your hands up and back into your hips, extending your thighs back behind you, moving your chest closer to your thighs. Let's take a cleansing breath here. Big inhale through our nose. Exhale it out the mouth. Inhale again through the nose. Exhale it out the mouth. Inhale extends our right leg straight up and back, three-legged dog. Pause here. Rooting down through your hands, extending back to the heel of that right foot. Take an inhale. On the exhale, crunch it in, knee to nose. Inhale it up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale it up and back. Exhale, bend the knees, step that right foot to the top of the mat. Left hand down, right fingertips up, find your twist and breathe. As you twist, think about your hips, firming into that right hip. Still extending back to that left leg. Imagine you could take your left thigh up to the ceiling so that left leg is active. Bottom ribs forward, top ribs a little back. There's an extension from wrist to wrist. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release your right hand down. Bring your right hand inside your right ankle. Walk your right foot a little more to the side. Lizard lunge. And we're keeping the knee up for this lizard lunge. So options stay up on your hands. You can come down onto your forearms. You can also use a block or a book or a pillow underneath your forearms to raise the floor a bit. And breathe. Soft and smooth breathing, waking up those hamstrings and hip flexors. Great job, guys. Come back up onto your hands. Lower your left knee down. Walk your right foot to the center of the mat. Find a half split. So scoot the heel of that right foot forward, flexing to the right foot. Allow the hips to move back, but keep your left hip right over that left knee. You may have your hands on blocks here. You may not. Crawl your fingertips forward if it's easy for your hands to get to the mat. If your hands are on blocks here, keep them right underneath you. And just breathe. Find that hamstring stretch in a different direction. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Take another deep breath in. Deep breath out. Start to bend back into your right knee. Plant your hands down. Step back into a downward facing dog. Take a few inhales and exhales here in down dog. Soft and smooth breathing. Inhale extends our left leg up and back. Pause here. On the exhale, crunch it in, knee to nose. Inhale it up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale it up and back. Exhale, bend the knee, step the left foot to the top of the mat. Right hand down, left fingertips up, and twist. Now you have the option to take your hand on the mat, or you can bring your hand underneath a book or a block. Firming into that left hip, extend back to that right leg. Maybe gaze up towards your top fingertips. Exhale, releases the left hand down. Bring that left hand inside the left ankle. Walk your foot a little more to the side. Lizard lunge. You can stay up on the hands. You may come down to your forearms. And again, you can bring something underneath the forearms here. And I've mentioned this before, just as long as your knee's tracking with your toe, it doesn't matter if the foot is pointed forward or if you turn it out to the side. And breathe. Soft and smooth breathing. Come back up onto your hands. Lower your right knee. Walk your left foot to the center of the mat. Find your half split. So scooting the heel of that left foot forward, flexing through the foot, starting to wake up that left hamstring a little bit more. Keeping your right hip right over the right knee. If your hands are on blocks, just keep yourself exactly where you're at. If your hands do reach the floor fairly easy, maybe walk your hands out a little further. And breathe here. Soft and smooth breathing. Even though the legs are apart, we're still imagining the hips firming in together. Start to bend into your left knee. Plant your hand down, step back into a downward dog. Take a few inhales and exhales here. Soft and smooth breathing. Great job, everybody. Inhale extends your right leg up and back. On the exhale, knee to nose, crunch it in. Inhale it up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, crunch it in. Inhale it up and back. Exhale, bend that knee, step the right foot to the top of the mat. Find your twist, left hand down, right fingertips up. Finding those lines of energy from the crown of the head back into the heels of your feet, from your bottom hand up into your top fingertips. Exhale releases the right hand down. Bring it inside that right ankle. Walk your right foot to the side. Find your lizard lunge. Option to stay up on the hands, or you can come down onto your forearms. Breathe here. Soft and smooth breathing. Great job, guys. Allow yourself to come back up or lower your knee down. Come back up into your hands and walk your right foot to the center of the mat, finding your half split, crawling that right foot out towards the front of the mat, flexing to the right foot, allowing the hips to move slightly back, but as much as you can, keep your left hip over your left knee. You may crawl your fingertips out. You may keep your hands right underneath you, and breathe. Soft and smooth breathing. Bend back into your right knee, plant your hands down, step back into downward dog. Take a few inhales and exhales here. Inhale takes the left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, crunch it in. Inhale it up and back. Exhale, knee to nose and crunch it in. Inhale it up and back. Exhale, bend the knee, step the foot to the top of the mat. Twist, right hand down, left fingertips up. Breathe. Find this twist in the upper body. Exhale, release the left hand down. Bring it inside that left ankle. Find your lizard lunge. Breathe here. Option to stay up on the hands. You may come down onto your forearms. Soft and smooth breathing. Notice if you're holding your breath as we hold the poses. Come back up onto your hands. Lower your right knee down. Walk that left foot to the center of the mat. Crawl your left foot out in front of you. Flex through the left foot and breathe. Maybe you crawl your fingertips out a little further. Maybe you keep the hands right underneath you. Soft and smooth breathing. Start to bend back into your left knee. Plant your hands down. Step back into your down dog. Take a few inhales and exhales here. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Inhale, right leg goes up and back. Pause here, keeping all 10 fingers glued down onto the mat, extending back to the heel of your right foot. Using that abdominal strength to keep the leg lifted. On your exhale, bend the knee, step the right foot to the top of the mat, step the left foot up to meet the right. Inhale, lengthens our spine halfway. Ardha Uttanasana, draw the chest in between the arms. Exhale to hinge from your hips and forward fold, Uttanasana. Grounding down through our feet, inhale takes the arms up above us, moving us to standing, palms pressed, hands to our heart center. Pause here, Tadasana, mountain pose. Grounding down evenly through your feet, rolling your inner thighs back, releasing your tailbone down. Broadening through your collarbones, and we breathe. Inhale takes the arms up. Exhale, hinge from your hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen our spines halfway. On the exhale, plant the hands down, step back into plank pose. Now, option for the traditional vinyasa, halfway down chaturanga to up dog. I'm taking that modified vinyasa, lowering down onto my forearms for forearm plank, then releasing my knees and my toes back, finding sphinx pose. Breathe here. Drawing the chest in between the arms. I invite you to try this one. You'll start to build up some strength in your forearms and your shoulders. On the exhale, release your head down. Press yourselves up into a table or tabletop plank pose and sit up and back, downward dog. I always want to say tabletop there. Take a few inhales and exhales here. And breathe. Inhale extends our left leg up and back, just holding. Grounding down through all 10 fingers. Soft and smooth breathing. Exhale, bend the knee, step that left foot to the top of the mat. Right foot joins the left. Inhale to lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to forward fold it down. Grounding down through your feet. Inhale takes the arms up above you. Palms crossed, hands to our heart center. Pause here for a moment. Finding that grounding sensation in Tadasana. Finding that energy from our feet up into the crown of the head. Inhale takes the arms up above us. Exhale, hinge from the hips and forward fold it down. Inhale, lengthens our spine halfway. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back into plank pose. Either traditional vinyasa or join me in the modified, lowering down onto our forearms, pausing here. Then knees and toes release back, Sphinx pose. Draw the chest in between the arms. Exhale, releases us down. Hands move back towards the ribs, pressing up to plank pose and back into downward dog. Take a few inhales and exhales here in down dog. Soft and smooth breathing. Come high up into the heels of your feet. Bend your knees, look up towards your hands. Walk or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale to forward fold. Ground down through your feet. Inhale, the arms come up to standing. Palms press. Hands to our heart center. Pause here. Inhale, take the arms up above you. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Hinge from those hips. Inhale to lengthen our spines halfway. Draw the chest in between the arms. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands down. Step back for your variation of vinyasa, whatever that may be today. Forearm plank if you're joining me. Then lower the knees down, toes back. Sphinx pose. Breathe. Exhale ourselves down, planting the hands near the low ribs as we press up to plank and meeting in downward dog. Deep inhale, deep exhale, deep inhale, and deep exhale. Walk your feet out as wide as your mat. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Wide leg forward fold. Hang loose a little bit. Grab opposite elbows and sway side to side. Release your fingertips down towards your toes. Hands on your hips. Actually, release your fingertips down towards your toes. Turn your heels in, your toes out. Sink your hips down, yogi squat, malasana. And breathe here. Allow your hands to come up towards your heart center. And you feel your knees moving in towards your arm. And you're finding this stretch in the inner leg out into the knee. And some of us, the heels of our feet are lifted. Some of us, the heels of the feet are down. If the heels of the feet are lifted, you can always roll up the back of the mat and place that underneath the heels of the feet for support, or put a blanket or a pillow underneath your feet. And we're just holding here. This is a really grounding sensation here. You find your root chakra here. So you're feeling this lift from the pubic bone up into the belly button, up into the heart. And we're also finding stability in our hips as well as stretch through the inner legs. Release your fingertips down, start to straighten out your legs, parallel your feet, forward fold. Hands on your hips, ground down through your feet, come all the way up to standing. Walk your feet in together till they touch, and I'll mirror you guys here. So we're grounding down through our left foot, firming into the left hip. We'll take the right foot to the ankle, turning the knee out to the side, the calf or up into the thigh. And allow your hands to meet at heart center. Now think about your right side of your body. This side of your body is basically still in that malasana shape. Your foot's just not on the ground, now it's on your inner thigh. But you get that stretch from the inner leg out into the knee. And you find this stability, this Tadasana pose on that left side of your body, rooting down to the left, firming into that left hip. And just like we did the other day, we're holding this pose a little longer. So you can extend your fingertips up if you'd like, or you can keep your hands at your heart, because again, we're holding this just a little longer than what we normally do. Because we want to find that grounding sensation, that balance within ourselves. And just breathe. Noticing if you wobble, that's okay. Your body's finding center. And then gently release, shake it out a little bit. Now rooting down through that right side, firming into your right hip. Left foot goes to the ankle, the calf, or up into the thigh. And again, this part of your body is like that malasana. You get that same stretch from the inner leg out into the knee. Allow your hands to come to heart center. Pause for a moment. Find that rooting sensation in the right side of your body. Allowing that energy to move up through the crown of the head. Maybe the fingertips grow towards the ceiling, and we breathe. And we're pausing here. We're holding this a little longer to find that balance within ourselves, that grounding sensation in the right side of our bodies, and to find our breath. And then we release, we shake it out a little bit. Great job, everyone. Let's meet at the top of our mat. Bending our knees, sitting our hips nice and low. It's our good friend chair pose. Sweep up those arms. Hold here. Breathe. Inhale up to standing, palms press, hands to our heart center. Sit back down, nice and low, chair pose, sweep up your arms. Deep breath in. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, lengthens our spine. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back into plank pose. Either vinyasa or modify your vinyasa by coming down into the forearms, lowering the knees and the toes back, finding your sphinx pose. Exhaling yourself down, planting your hands down near the ribs, pressing up into tabletop. Oops, plank. I don't know why I keep saying tabletop. And then set it up and back, downward dog. Tabletop is haunting me there. And breathe. Soft and smooth breathing. Great job, guys. Inhale extends the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Now, yogi's choice. You can stay right here. I'm adding some abdominals. I'm taking the right knee to the right elbow. I inhale it up and back, exhaling it to the left elbow. Inhaling it up and back. Exhale, bend the knee, step the foot to the top of the mat. Left hand down, right fingertips up, twist. Breathe. Releasing my right hand down, grounding down through my feet, coming all the way up, crescent pose, and breathe here. Soft and smooth breathing. Having a nice deep bend in your front knee. You may have a slight bend in your left knee. We're guiding our hips forward, drawing that right hip back, left hip slightly forward, extending up through our fingertips. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, release both hands inside that right ankle, walking your right foot a little more to the right, finding your lizard lunge. Breathe here. You may stay up on the hands. You may come down onto your forearms. Soft and smooth breathing. If you've come up onto your forearms, come back up onto your hands, changing it up from what we originally did. Step your left foot up towards your left pinky finger. And sink your hips down, malasana, yogi squat. Breathe here. Great job, guys. Soft and smooth breathing. Find that stretch in the inner leg out into the knee. Release your fingertips down, straighten your legs, forward fold. Great job, everyone. Inhale to lengthen. On your exhale, plant the hands down, moving through a vinyasa if you choose, or the modified vinyasa that I've been taking. Forearm plank, knees down, toes back, Sphinx pose. Exhaling down, pressing up to plank pose. Got it that time. And send it up and back, downward facing dog. Deep inhale and deep exhale. Now option again, you can skip this part, but we're doing some abdominal work, taking the left leg up and back on the inhale. On the exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale it up and back, exhaling it to our right elbow. Inhale it up and back. On your exhale, knee to nose, really crunch it in, then step your foot forward. Find your twist, right hand down, left fingertips up, and twist. Exhale releases the left hand down, grounding down through our feet. Come all the way up. Crescent pose on that left, and breathe. You may have a slight bend in your right knee. I like to do this to keep waking up my hip flexors. It's a little early for my hip flexors. And breathe here. Really appreciating our breath. It's the one thing you can do all throughout the day and pay very little attention to. On the exhale, we release both hands inside that left ankle. Find our lizard lunge. Hold. Breathe. If you're down on your forearms, start to move back up onto your hands. Step that right foot up to meet the right pinky. Sink your hips down. Malasana. Breathe. Find that grounding sensation here. Release your fingertips down. Straighten out your legs, parallel your feet, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen our spines. On our exhale, we plant down our hands, moving through a vinyasa, or we'll take our forearm vinyasa. Inhaling for Sphinx. Exhale down. Pressing up to plank. And then up and back for our down dog. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Great job, everybody. When you're ready, let's meet at the top of the mat, either walk or jump. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to forward fold. Bend your knees, sit your hips nice and low, chair pose. Breathe here. Allow your palms to press, hands to your heart center. Twist left elbow outside your right knee and breathe. Still sinking those hips back and down. And normally we spread apart here, but keep it that grounding sensation, that connection within. I ask you to keep your hands together. On the exhale, forward fold, pause. Inhale, lengthens. Exhale to forward fold. Bending our knees, sit our hips nice and low. Chair pose, sweep up the arms. Palms crossed, hands to our heart center. Deep breath in. Exhale, twist, right elbow outside your left knee. Breathe, sink those hips down. Allow the hands to stay at your heart. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Release, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands down, moving through the vinyasa of your choice, either the modified version with me, or you can take the traditional vinyasa. And we'll all meet up and back for downward dog. Deep breath in, and deep breath out. Deep breath in, and deep breath out. Great job, guys. Without taking your leg up and back, draw your right knee in towards your nose. Shift your hips forward, step your right foot to the top of the mat. Left hand down, right fingertips up. Find your twist. Exhale, releases that hand down. Ground down through your feet. Come all the way up, crescent pose, and breathe. Allow your palms to press, hands to your heart center. Lengthen forward, take an inhale. On the exhale, left elbow outside your right knee, twist. Firming into your hips, even though the legs are apart, imagine they're together. Breathe. Take an inhale. Exhale, release both hands inside your right ankle. Walk your right foot to the side, lizard lunge. Breathe. Option to come down into the forearms if you'd like. Come back up onto your hands, step your left foot outside your left pinky, sink your hips down, malasana, yogi squat, breathe. Great job, guys. Find that lift. Don't just sink down here. I noticed I was doing it too. There's a lift from the pubic bone to the belly button to the heart. Release the fingertips down, straighten the legs, parallel your feet, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale it down. Planting the hands down, traveling through your vinyasa of your choice. You can always skip these too. You don't have to take every single one. And wherever you are, we always meet up and back for a down dog. Breathe here. Soft and smooth breathing. Without taking the left leg up, draw that left knee in towards your nose. Shift your hips forward, step the foot to the top of the mat. Find your twist. Breathe. Exhale to release that left hand down, grounding down through our feet, coming all the way up. Crescent pose. Breathe. Palms press, hands to our hearts. Deep breath in. Lengthen forward, and on the exhale, we twist. Right elbow outside your left knee. Breathe here. If you have your right leg lifted, keep extending back. If your left knee is down, that's perfectly, or your right knee, excuse me, is down, it's perfectly fine. On the exhale, we release both hands inside that left ankle, finding our lizard lunge. Breathe here. Option to come down onto the forearms if you'd like. Come back up on the hands if you're on your forearms. Step that right foot up to meet the right pinky. Sink your hips down, but find that lift. Malasana, yogi squat. That rooting down, that grounding sensation, but there's still a lift there. We release our fingertips down and forward fold, straighten the legs. Great job, guys. Inhale to lengthen the spine halfway. On the exhale, plant the hands down, traveling through a vinyasa. If you choose, you can always go up and back into a down dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. Great job, everybody. Soft and smooth breathing here. Without taking that right leg up and back, draw your right knee in towards your nose, crunch it in. Step your foot to the top of the mat. Twist, left hand down, right fingertips up. Release that right hand down. Ground down through your feet, come all the way up. Crescent pose on the right. Breathe. Palms press, hands to your heart center. Lengthen forward. On the exhale, we twist. Left elbow outside your right knee. Breathe. On the exhale, come back to neutral, not bringing the hands down this time. Lengthen a little forward. I may have to scoot myself back. And get light in your left toes. Warrior three. Firming into those hips. just like you would for your malasana. Start to release your fingertips all the way down, standing split. Option for your hands to be on blocks here. You may experiment with taking one hand to the ankle, playing with your balance a little more. Wherever you're played with your balance, take both fingertips down, release the left foot down to meet the right. Heels in, toes out. Guess where we're going? Our good friend malasana, yogi squat, hands to the heart. Breathe here. Now, as you're in your malasana yogi squat, we've practiced this before, and if this is in your personal practice, you can take that now. I'll have to scoot myself back a bit to do it. But you can move into a bakasana or crow pose. So planting your hands down, finding like chaturanga arms. Shift your hips forward. You may just experiment one foot up, the opposite foot up. You may take both feet up. And we breathe. And then you can lower yourself down. Find your malasana once again. Release your fingertips down, straighten your legs, parallel your feet, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to plant the hands down, traveling through a vinyasa if you choose, or you can skip it, and we'll meet in down dog. Soft and smooth breathing. So nothing too fancy today, nothing completely out of the ordinary, but we really are finding this neutral position. There's so much going on in our lives, in our communities, and we need to find this grounding sensation within ourselves so that we can support and help others. So we find that here on our mat, keeping ourselves neutral, moving through the twists and turns with our breath, and then grounding within. Without taking the left leg up, we draw the left knee in towards the nose, shift our hips forward, step the foot to the top of the mat, right hand down, left fingertips up, we twist, and breathe. We forgot about the left side, I know, we were getting really comfy. Then release the left hand down, ground down through your feet, come all the way up, crescent pose, breathe here. Palms pressed, hands to our heart center. We lengthen forward, hooking that right elbow outside our left knee, keeping our hands at our heart. Breathe here. Great job, guys. Come back to neutral. I'll have to scoot myself back, but you'll start to lengthen yourself forward, get light in your right toes. Warrior three. Releasing our fingertips down for a standing split. Hands can be on your blocks here. And release your right foot down towards the left, heels in, toes out. Malasana yogi squat. Breathe. And taking that rooting sensation, that grounding within to find flight. If you choose, you can plant your hands down, get light in your toes. I don't think I gave myself enough room. And then come into bakasana. I don't have enough room, my head's now on the wall, but you know what we're doing. And breathe here. And then release yourself back into malasana, yogi squat. Great job, guys. Release your fingertips down, straighten your legs. Ooh, forward fold, I lost my balance there. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands down, traveling through a vinyasa if you choose. It will be our last vinyasa. And then you send it up and back for downward facing dog. Deep inhale and deep exhale. Great job, everyone. Inhale takes our right leg up and back. Open up your right hip, circle out that hip. Done a lot of work today. Whichever direction you're moving, move in the opposite direction. Take the leg back out. On the exhale, bend the knee. Take the knee towards the wrist, the ankle towards the wrist. Finding your pigeon pose. You may have to put a block or a blanket underneath your right hip if your right hip is lifted. And we'll stay lifted first. Then we'll crawl ourselves out and allow ourselves to recline. And breathe here. Soft and smooth breathing. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Gently start to come back up. Planting your hands down, take your leg back to a down dog, pedal out your feet a bit. Left leg goes up and back, opening up that left hip. Whichever direction you're moving, move in the opposite direction. And take the leg back out, find your pigeon pose with that left side. Again, option to bring something underneath the left hip if the hip is up. And we'll stay up for a bit. Then we start to recline ourselves down. And breathe here. Breathe. Start to walk your hands back up. Move yourself back into down dog, paddling out your feet a few times. Then lower the hips down into plank pose. We're holding plank for just a few inhales and exhales. Shoulders over wrist, extending back to the heels of the feet. Draw the low belly in. Breathe. Finding that line of energy from the crown of the head back into the heels of your feet. Then lower all the way down onto your belly. Release your toes back, bring your forehead down onto your mat. And interlace your fingers behind your back. On the inhale, we'll lift our head, neck, and chest, hovering our legs back behind us, locust pose, Shalambhasana. Exhale to release it down. Pause for a moment. Bring your forehead back down onto the mat. Interlace your fingers, other hand on top. Inhale, lift your head, neck, and chest. Locust pose, Shalambhasana. Exhale it down. Now, option to stay here and rest. If you'd like, you can bend each knee, reach back, grab your feet or your ankles. And on your inhale, lift your head, neck, and chest. Dhanurasana, bow pose, balancing on your frontal hip points. And breathe here. The more you kick your shins back, the higher the chest lifts. And then exhale, release. Shimmy your hips from side to side. Great job, guys. Plant your hands down near your low ribs. Press yourselves back to child's pose, just like we started class. Big toes together and knees apart. Extend your arms out in front of you. And let your forearms rest. Breathe here. And come back to your breath. Appreciating your breath and for it to allow guidance through your practice. Walk your hands back towards your hips. Sweep those legs straight out in front of you. Shake out the legs a little bit. Heels of the feet come in. Bakasana or butterfly pose. Grabbing the hold of your feet or your ankles here. Sitting up nice and tall, knees go out to the side. We'll lengthen first, and then we'll hinge from the hips and take our head down towards the toes. Sometimes it gets there, sometimes it doesn't, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes it'll never get there,
And again, that's perfectly fine. You're finding the stretch that feels best for you. Inhale yourselves up to give some love to our outer hips. We'll stay in this bakasana shape, but we'll move the heels of our feet a little forward. So now it takes the stretch from the inner leg more into the outer hips, and we'll lengthen, of course, and then we release to forward fold. And breathe. Inhale yourself back up, hands outside your knees. Bring your feet down onto your mat. Scoot your hips a little forward so you have room to roll back. Roll down onto your backs. Windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Allow the legs to come to neutral. Cross your right ankle over that left knee. Reach behind your thigh, move the legs in towards you. Thread the needle. So this is pigeon pose, but on your back. If you straighten your leg, it's that same shape you created when you were flipped over. And just breathe here. Giving some love to the outer hips. Down into that right glute. And when you're ready, you'll switch, taking it on the opposite side. You can straighten the right leg if you choose, or you can keep the right knee bent. Breathe here. And then when you're ready, release both feet down onto the ground. Windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Hug the knees in towards your chest. One hand on either knee, hip circles here. Giving the hips some love from all the work they did today. And then whichever direction you're moving the knees, move them in the opposite direction. Hug your knees back in towards your chest. Pick up your knees right over your hips. Cross your right knee over your left like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. Reach around, grab a hold of your shins, your ankles, or your feet. Move the legs in towards you and breathe. Soft and smooth breathing. When you're ready, we'll switch. Cross the opposite leg over, grab a hold of what you can, shins, ankles, or feet, and move the legs in towards you. And cross your legs. Hug both knees in towards your chest. And find happy baby pose. Heels the feet up towards the ceiling. Grab the outside edges of your feet. Release your thighs down. Get that stretch in the inner legs and breathe. When you're ready, hug your knees in towards your chest. Allow your forehead to come up towards your knees. Giving yourself a nice tight squeeze. Gratitude for your practice. And on the exhale, release the arms and legs out away from the body. Your final resting pose or shavasana. And breathe here. Give your body truly permission to relax. And ideas will come to your mind, and sounds will come to your ears. And we acknowledge those things and we allow them to pass, allowing ourselves to have just a moment of peace. And I invite you to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you need. Not very often do you get to rest besides sleeping, so give yourself some more time to rest if you need it. If you are ready to come out, begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, roll your wrists and ankles. Take your arms straight up above you, full body stretch back. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself one last squeeze. Rolling over to the side or straight up to seated. Allow your eyes to close, hands come to our heart center, just like we took for most of today's practice. Palms together at our heart, allowing our eyes to close. Honoring the light or what is good in you. As you honor the light or what is good in others, and being the light for those who need it. Namaste.